Monster Hunter Wilds has been going absolutely nuclear recently. It is going completely insane, bro. This game sold like 8 million copies in 3 days. It was just a massive success. And overall, the game is really good. We're going to get into that later in the video, but there also is a bunch of concern around the optimization of performance on, PC hardware specifically. I've been playing on PS5, and honestly, I haven't had like a single crash or anything. I've had a few bugs here and there, but the performance on PS5 is actually not that bad. So I feel like most of the performance issues are just on PC. I can't really speak for PS5 because I haven't had anything terrible happen on PS5. It runs somewhat fine, okay? Nonetheless, there has been a ton of praise and a ton of controversy surrounding Monster Hunter Wilds, okay? And this can be kind of confusing for a consumer, Should you spend your hard-earned money on this game? That is what I'm going to be diving into today in today's video. So if you guys do like the content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And yeah, real quick, I also want to say that the internet moves so fast. That's why this video is coming out a week after Monster Hunter Wilds release. Whenever I'm putting out a review for a new game, I like to spend some real quality time with it before putting out my thoughts. The internet moves so fast, and I feel like a lot of people don't really get to form genuine opinions on games. So yeah, this is how you know it's authentic. All right, I'm not a game journalist. I'm a dude with real stuff going on, and I just like to play video games, and I like to share my opinion on that. So you know that this review is going to be as genuine as possible, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the good in Monster Hunter Wilds. Right, I do have a few criticisms, but let's go ahead and start with what I like. First of all, this game is basically just raw, straight up gameplay. All right, there's no downtime between missions or hunts or whatever. You're constantly fighting something or earning rewards to power you up. I love that. I love that so much, dude. I feel like a lot of the times nowadays when games come out, there's just things to slow you down and, kill your momentum, basically. Like that's just what it feels like. I mean, playing Dragon Age of the Veilguard recently a few months ago, that game is not that great, by the way, but, I felt like that was a problem that game had, is it just, kind of killed all of your momentum with lame dialogue or annoying puzzles and stuff like that, where, the combat in that game actually wasn't terrible, but it's like you didn't really get to experience much of the combat because a lot of the game is just a slog of dialogue that you have to get through. So yeah, it's pretty much just raw, straight up, unfiltered gameplay. Like, you're going from boss battle to boss battle, and it's amazing. You're getting all these rewards, you're unlocking new armor, new weapons, upgrades, all that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding of your time. You can really pick this up for like 30 minutes and make some good progress and then go do something else, then come back. Or if you want to grind it for hours and hours, you can totally do that as well. I think that is incredible. I feel like a lot of games, like I said before, they just don't respect players' time, in my opinion, but Monster Hunter does that very well. And there's also a lot of content here. I feel like you can easily put like 200 hours into this game, maybe even more, dude, and it's awesome. It's great. The character creator here is also amazing. There's so many different options you can do. I've seen people walking around with like Kratos. The Palico is dope as well. This is my first Monster Hunter game, so I'm not really familiar with other ones, but I feel like this is definitely a massive step up in the Monster Hunter franchise. I feel like everything is streamlined and optimized in a way better, way. I played a little bit of Monster Hunter Worlds, but that was super hard for me to get into. I'm going to be completely honest. Maybe I give it a shot after this, but, Monster Hunter Wilds does a great job at making everything more accessible while not, knocking the hardcore players at all. Like, this game does an amazing job at teaching you the mechanics. It can get a little confusing, and I feel like things like multiplayer could be streamlined better. It's kind of hard to figure out how to, work around multiplayer at first, but once you figure everything out and, like the UI, it really clicks, and this game just hooks you, bro. This game is just so cinematic as well. Like, I'm a sucker for boss fights, and I mean, I guess technically the combat here is just boss fights. I mean, that's the best way to describe it here, but everything's just so cinematic and awesome, bro. And I'm also like 40 hours in or something, right? And I'm still finding new monsters that I haven't even seen before, dude. It's actually so incredible. And that like when you discover a super crazy monster and you fight it for the first time, it's just such an awesome feeling. It's just super cool. Like, the design of all the monsters here is honestly off the charts. Like, it's incredible. Like, there's so much creativity behind like the character design and just artwork for this game. Oh, dude, the armor is amazing too. Some of the weapons just look sick, and the weapons all play really well. I feel like anything can be viable. Depending on your play style. I feel like if you really want to get hooked on this game, experiment with all the weapons and find out what really fits, your play style. Because I feel like there's something really for everyone here. But just the creativity and art behind this game is just so stunning, bro. Like, it's so nice. But yeah, that's just what I think Monster Hunter does really well. And also, this game is a blast to play with friends, all right? I want to say that. Obviously, this game has incredible multiplayer. Once you figure out how to join people's lobbies and play with your friends, it's great. Now I want to go ahead and talk about some of my concerns. And multiplayer first is going to be, one of my concerns or gripes here, okay? So the multiplayer, when you're actually playing with your friends, it's amazing. It's really good. But trying to figure out, especially when you're new, trying to figure out how to actually play with your friends was kind of a headache for me at first, okay? It's not as simple as just inviting them to your game. You got to invite them to your link party, and then you got to invite them to your environment. And in some cases, you can't invite them to your environment because they're too behind in the game, right? I kind of get it, and once you sort of get to the end game, it becomes a lot more accessible, but it is just a little bit annoying. I wish there was more optimization around the multiplayer, like the logistics of how to actually get people into your game. But otherwise, like, actually playing with your friends once you figure it out is fine. Like, it's great. I don't really have any problems there. I just wish that it was sort of streamlined in a more understandable way, because for the first few hours, it was really difficult for me to figure out how to actually play with my boys, okay? Moving on here, obviously, the optimization is something that I definitely have to talk about. I mean, how couldn't you, bro? Apparently, the optimization on PC is abysmal. Like I said at the start of the video, I haven't really had any issues on PS5. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've had a few bugs, whatever. I haven't had any crashes or anything like that, and the frame rate is pretty steady. But dude, on PC, from what I've seen online, it's really, really bad. And that kind of sucks, because there's some people who bought the game that aren't able to run this game at all. And they have, a pretty good graphics card. Like, we're not talking like 50 series or anything. Like, if you have like some high end hardware, it's going to be really good. But, people with like sort of that mid-range hardware that's a few years old are going to have a hard time running this game. And I think that's dumb, and that's not okay, man, because I feel like this game could run perfectly fine on a 30 series or something like that, okay? I just do. I just don't think it's optimized well. And, there's a whole bunch of drama surrounding that. That is one thing that I think is super lame, though, is that there's some people who bought this game thinking that their hardware was good enough to run it, which, in my opinion, it should be, and then they're not able to play it at all. I feel for y'all. That sucks, man. That really sucks. As far as everything I've seen, though, and from my experience playing on console, that's only on PC. But if you are looking to play this game with mid-range hardware, man, just look out, bro. Just do some research. I'm sure they're definitely going to update it as time goes on to, better optimize it. But like, for a $70 game, that should definitely be, that should be optimized at launch, bro. You're paying $70 for this. If you pay that, you should be able to play it, in my opinion, okay? And, Capcom specifically is a company that has done this in the past, okay, with certain games, all right? And I'm gonna be honest, I like Capcom, bro. I think they put out some incredible games, and they do deliver some good games, all right? And they have grown their franchise over the years in a pretty good way, okay? I'm not gonna lie, but there's some drama and some reports speculating that they knew about the optimization and just launched it anyways, because the end of the quarter is coming up and whatever. That's just lame, man. I'm gonna be honest. That's just lame, because some consumers get hurt and they spend money and then they're not able to actually play the product that they purchased. That's lame. All right, I do love Capcom. All right, I love pretty much anything they put out, especially nowadays, man. I feel like they put out a lot of good games. But yeah, that's kind of disappointing with all those reports and everything, that they knew that the optimization was bad, but they still launched it anyways. I mean, I get it, business, you got to make sales. It's just whatever, man. Like, it's it's honestly, it sucks, but like, there's worse AAA companies out here. I'm going to be completely honest, especially with everything going on with like Activision and Call of Duty and the AI use of, in their game, whatever, dude. It's just a little disappointing. And I feel for people who aren't able to experience this game. That really blows, because this game is good. The core game is good. I do have one other issue I want to talk about, though, regarding the core experience. I feel like from a story perspective and like a narrative perspective, the game kind of falls a little bit flat. They kind of went for a more narrative approach here. It doesn't really hinder the gameplay at all. Like I said, the pacing's really good, but I just found myself, skipping a lot of cutscenes and dialogue because it was just uninteresting. And I understand, like, that's not the main point of the game. It's kind of whatever. And I noticed that they tried to, go for a narrative here. That's why I'm going to pick on it. There is some really cool cutscenes and really cool moments, especially with the boss fights and everything. I feel like at times there's just a little bit of annoying dialogue or, annoying cutscenes, but the game does allow you to skip through it at least, at least it's not making you sit through that. That is something I can't stand when you're not able to, skip moments like that. So, I feel like they could have, had a better narrative here. Maybe the voice acting could have been a bit better, but I would much rather, all of the funding go to the gameplay rather than voice actors and, making like a movie style game. That's just me. I just like, if you're expecting a narrative and like a crazy story going into this game, don't expect that. All right. Expect great gameplay. The narrative, it's not the greatest. There is some really cool cutscenes though. There's some cool moments for sure. But yeah, just be aware of that, because I know there's going to be some people who haven't played a Monster Hunter game, and they're going to go into this thinking that it's going to be like an open world story game or something. That's not really the case. All right. But besides that, man, I think Monster Hunter Wilds is a great game. It gets a pass for me. If you're looking for a fun game to play with your friends, you're looking for that next game to spend a couple hundred hours in, dude, this game's for you. This game is amazing. It's straight, raw, unfiltered gameplay. The amount of build potential here is extremely fun. And if that sounds like it's for you, if you love boss fights, if you love making, crazy builds and having cool armor, this game is absolutely 100% for you. As long as you're not looking at buying it on a PC that has like mid-range hardware, you're going to have a hard time playing this game. But if you're on console, I think it's okay. And if you have a high-end PC, you're probably going to be fine. Hopefully they fix the optimization, but that's all I really have to say about Monster Hunter Wilds. It overall gets a pass for me, okay? I think that it's good. Optimization's really disappointing though. So... But nonetheless, like, this is still a really fantastic game. All right, I can't stress that enough. This might possibly be in the Game of the Year discussion. All right, we just have to see what else comes out, because this year is stacked, and this is kind of like that first wave of big releases. But Monster Hunter Wilds, like, it's a heavy hitter, man. Okay, don't count it out. I feel like this could be a possible Game of the Year nominee. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you're looking at Monster Hunter Wilds considering a purchase, and you see all this press speculating, you can't really form a real opinion because there's a lot of opinions out there. So I hope that this was a unbiased take for you guys, and I hope that you're able to take away what I said and use that for your decision. That's all this is, just an authentic discussion about Monster Hunter Wilds. All right, so yeah, if you guys did like the video, make sure to drop a like and a subscribe. It does help me out, and sorry for the inactivity recently. I've just been really busy in real life, school, everything like that, man. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and end it here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.